Hello and welcome to this week's Women's Football Chat, your weekly show that covers everything in the third and fourth tiers of women's football in England. That's the FA Women's National League. My name is Chris Gadsby. I'm here every Thursday at 6 p.m. to bring you the very latest across those six divisions. That's the North and Southern Premier Divisions and Division 1 in the North, the Midlands, the South East and the South West. Plenty to talk about this week. We had another programme of league fixtures. We'll look ahead to the second take of the Cup, and there's one midweek fixture as well coming up in the next 7 days. But it's been an exciting weekend of football, some great results in there, and plenty of movement in the tables as well. So let's start in the Northern Premier Division. Bournemouth St Michael's 2, Burnley 3. Bournemouth St Michael's really holding firm in this one. In fact, they were drawing until stoppage time. And that was with 10 as well. So goals in this one to Bournemouth St Michael's coming to Lois Jeffries in the 60th minute and Jessica Lundy in the 85th minute. Burnley goals. They took the lead, Evie Priestley in the 12th minute before being paid back by Boldmere. They then took the lead again through Millie Grace Ravening 65th minute before being paid back by Boldmere. And then Leah Jade Emily in the 93rd minute gave Burnley a 3-2 away win at Boldmere St Michael's, who fought gallantly in that game and ultimately come out with nothing to show for it. Derby County 0, AFC Fylde 2. Early opener for Fylde, Amy Hughes in the 7th minute. Jess Holbrook in the 73rd minute providing the second goal to give Fylde the 2-0 victory. Huddersfield Town 3, West Bromwich Albion 1. Goals for Huddersfield Town 2-0 up at half time thanks to goals to Georgia Marshall 28th minute and Laura Elford in the 35th minute. Goal to Huddersfield in the second half, Ray Montgomery in the 58th minute. And Shannon Stamps getting the only goal for West Bromwich Albion, who lose by 3-1. Good victory for Stoke City away at Liverpool Feds. That's 2 goals for Rosine Kivell for Stoke. Liverpool Feds again scored an early goal. Bethany Donoghue in the 9th minute, getting what would prove to be their only goal of the game. Brighouse Town win away at Loughborough Lightning by 3-0. Isabel Dean, Melissa Woodhouse and Jasmine Saxton getting the goals for Brighouse Town. And finally in the Northern Premier Division, Wolverhampton Wanderers winning away at Nottingham Forest by 4-2. They were 3-0 up at one stage. Forest scoring 2 in 2 minutes to get it back to 3-2 before Wolves rounded off the scoring. So goals to Wolves, Marie Gauntlet, Katie Johnson and 2 for Amber Hughes. Goals for Forest, both coming from free kicks just outside the area. It was Ariana Daniels in the 74th minute bundling it in from close range after the initial free kick from Becky Anderson hit the crossbar. And then Becca Anderson in the 75th minute this time went one better, just got the ball just below the crossbar. And it was 3-2 at that stage before Wolves then made it 4-2. That was the biggest crowd in the third division this weekend, 418 at Eastwood. So Wolves brought a good number down from the West Country. Northern Premier Division table then. We'll have a look at that. So Wolves remain top, 13 points. Burnley in second, also on 13 points after their victory against Bournemouth St Michael's. But with the worst goal difference, it's Wolves that go top. There's now a 4-point gap back to Forest in third, but Forest do still have a game in hand. Stoke City up 2 places to 4th after their victory over Liverpool Feds. Derby County drop a place after losing to Fylde. They're on 7 points in 5th. Huddersfield Town also up a couple of places and are on 7 points in 6th. West Brom down 2 on 7 points and in 7th. Liverpool Feds down 1 on 5 points and are in 8th. And then the bottom 4 is as it was. Fylde in 9th, Brighouse in 10th. Boldmere in 11th and Loughborough in 12th. But there's now a 4-point gap in that relegation zone because Fylde and Brighouse both got wins this weekend. So they moved to 5 and 4 respectively. Boldmere, St Michael's and Loughborough Lightning still yet to get off the mark. Southern Premier Division then, let's have a look at that. Ipswich Town 1, Bridgewater United 0. No information yet about the scorer for Ipswich on the full-time website. I'm going to make the assumption that it was either a penalty or a own goal, because that tends to be what it is when it's not been recorded down on the system. Oxford United 1, Billericay Town 1. Great result for Billericay Town away at Oxford. Leah Burridge opened the scoring for Oxford on the 9th minute. Then Billericay Town with Bew Parker got their equalising goal, and that made it 1-1. London Bees winning away at Portsmouth by 1-0, but their lineup hasn't yet been announced. So can't give you any details on that one. And Watford beating Cheltenham by 6-0. Convincing victory for Watford, who were 2-0 up inside 10 minutes. Andrea Georgiou in the 2nd minute and Annie Lee Rossiter in the 10th minute had put Watford 2-0 up. 45th minute, Anne Mewald getting their third. So it was 3-0 at half-time. They kept the pressure on. Grace Garrett, 57th minute, made it 4. Melis Mehmet in the 80th minute made it 5, and Florence Fife in the 90th minute made it 6. So convincing home win for Watford. And then in the later kickoff at 2:30, Plymouth 2, Crawley Wasps 0. Zoe Cunningham getting the first of Plymouth's goals on the 11th minute and getting their second as well, 34th minute from the penalty spot. Obviously full time over the course of the summer has not updated the fact that if it's a penalty or an own goal, it doesn't come up on the initial screen. You have to go and search for it yourself. Very helpful. Southern Premier Division table then is, so it's Oxford United at the top, 13 points from their 5 games. So they lost their 100% record as Billericay Town get that valuable point. Ipswich, in second place, Portsmouth on 10 points. They're 3 points back, having played 5 games, and London Bees on 10 points, having played 5 games as well, but with the worse goal difference than Portsmouth. So the top 3 are as you were. Watford are up 1 place. They're in 4th on 9 points. MK Dons are down 1 place. They're in 5th on 6 points. Ipswich Town are up 4 after that victory. 6 points for them. They are in 6th. Cheltenham Town down 1, 6 points in 7th place. Gillingham are down 1. They've got 4 points. They're in 8th place. Billericay Town are where they were in 9th. They have got 4 points as well. Bridgewater United down 2 in 10th on 4. Plymouth Argyle and Crawley Wasps both still in the relegation zone, but they've swapped up 1 and down 1. They're on 3 points and 2 points respectively. Division 1 North then. Let's have a look at that one. Bradford City 0, Durham Sestra 4. Good away win for Durham. Goals there coming 2 inside the first 10 minutes as well. Ellen Turnbull in the 5th minute and Erin Nicholson in the 9th minute put Durham in control early on in that one. 36th minute, Sarah Byrne made it 3-0. They went 3-0 up at half time, and then they got a 5 minutes before the end. Ella Wilson in the 84th minute. So good victory for Durham Sestra away at Bradford. Stockport County get a 2-0 win away at Hull City. Kenzie Bentley and Levy Rathburn getting the goals for Stockport County. Merseyrail get their season off the mark with a 2-2 draw at home to Barnsley. Barnsley, of course, were top of the table, don't forget, and with a 100% record. So great point for Merseyrail, who hopefully are starting to find their feet in this division. Goals for Merseyrail, Charlotte Tyers and Elise Newby, who was then sent off for the home side. Jodie McAlsher and Natalie Shaw getting the goals for Barnsley, but 2-2 it finished in that one. Middlesbrough 3, York City 2. Close game in this one as well. Goals for Middlesbrough, Emma Foster, Armani Maxwell and Brooke Newton. Goals for York City, times on these ones. Tegan Sorokan, 32nd minute. Felicity Jones in the 57th minute, but just wasn't enough to prevent Middlesbrough getting all 3 points. Newcastle with the attendance of the weekend, over 2,000 watching their game at Newcastle Falcons Stadium. Casey Elson with their goal, but a 1-1 draw with Chorley. Laura Walker in the 87th minute getting Chorley's goal, and meaning that Newcastle only get held to a 1-1 draw. And then Finally, in Division 1 North, a 3-1 victory for Norton Stockton Ancients over Leeds United. Bianca Owens with a hat-trick, 11th, 61st, and 70th minute for Bianca Owens from Norton Stockton Ancients, and Amy Woodruff in the 84th minute, getting the goal for Leeds United. A consolation goal, really, for Leeds. What that means for the North table, Barnsley, they are still top. They're 3 points clear of Newcastle United. And the top two remain unchanged, 13 points and 10 points respectively. Norton Stockton Ancients are up 3 places. They're now in third on 9 points, while Leeds drop a place to fourth, also on 9 points. Middlesbrough are up 2. They're on 9 points in fifth. Durham Sestra up 2, 8 points in sixth. York City down 3 with 7 points, and they're in 7th, and Hull City down 3 on 6 points in 8th. Chorley are where they were, 5 points in 9th. Stockport County are up 1 and out of the relegation zone, 4 points in 10th place. Bradford City replaced them in the relegation zone with 3 points from their 5 games. They're in 11th. Merseyrail still at the bottom of the table, but they are now off the mark, and they remain in 12th in Division 1 North. Let's look at Division 1 Midlands then, because some great results in here. Most notably, that big 9-0 victory for Doncaster Rovers Bells over Long Eaton United. We'll have a look at that one first. So we've got Jessica Andrew, Chloe Dean, 2 for Holly Housley, 1 for Nadia Khan, 1 for Lindsay Tugby. So that's the first 6 goals in that. And then Shannon Durkin getting a hat-trick for Doncaster Rovers Bells after only coming on in the 68th minute. So 22-minute, I haven't got the timings on those goals, but a 22-minute hat-trick for Shannon Durkin there after coming off the substitutes bench. A 9-0 victory for Doncaster Rovers Bells. Lincoln City 2, Sporting Cowser 2. Goals in this one, 2 for Sporting Cowser, both coming to Olivia Woolston in the 27th and the 35th minute. They were 2-0 up away at Lincoln City, but Lincoln pegged them back. Chantal Robinson in the 40th minute, and then Amy Kay in the second half after coming off the bench pretty much on half-time. Made it 2-2. Northampton 0, Sheffield 1. Good result for Sheffield. Mariah McIntosh in the 13th minute, giving them the only goal of the game. And Solihull Moors 2, Leek Town 2. Solihull Moors 2-1 up at half-time here. Annie Highway and Lindsay Ross Baker getting the 2 goals for Solihull in the first half. Cassie Hyde on the 18th minute had scored for Leek Town in the first half. That was 2-1. And then Chantel Gallagher, 5 minutes after the restart, made it 2-2. And that's how it finished. Stourbridge, a 4-0 win at home to Peterborough. Stourbridge, arguably the team of the league so far. And that's across the entire FAWNL. We'll have a look at the table in a minute and you'll see why I say that. Niamh Deasy in the 51st and the 78th minute with 2 of Stourbridge's goals. Lilybeth Bown, 75th and 87th minute with the other 2 of their goals. So really in the final quarter of an hour went from 1-0 to 4-0, and that really hammered the result home for Stourbridge, who are doing so well in Division 1 Midlands at the start of this season. We'll quickly look at Wemtown 2, Leafield Athletic 4 before we get onto the table. Katie Doster and Elise Gindra with 2 goals for Wemtown. But goals for Leafield Athletic coming to Jessica Lowe in the 37th minute, Samantha Baker in the 59th, Jessica Lowe getting her second in the 68th minute, and Chloe Shirley in the 81st minute. That's the scoring from the Division 1 Midlands. Division 1 Midlands table then looks like this, with Stourbridge at the top. Who would have thought that? The newly promoted Stourbridge, after nearly a quarter of the way through the season, are top of Division 1 Midlands. They're up a place, replacing Solihull Moors, who dropped down to second. Solihull Moors was drawing with Leek Town. So Stourbridge on the top, 12 points. Solihull Moors second, 10 points. Leaford Athletic are up a place there on 10 points in third. Doncaster Rovers Bells are up 2 places, 9 points in fourth. Peterborough United drop a couple of places there in fifth on 9 points. Sheffield up a couple of places on 9 points there in sixth. Sporting Cows are also dropped 2. They're in 7th on 7 points. Then Leek Town, Lincoln City, Wemtown, Long Eaton United and Northampton Town make up spaces 8 to 12. They have not changed. 7 points, 4 points, 3 points, 3 points, and 1 point respectively for those 5 teams. But Long Eaton United already a minus 25 goal difference. Of course, they came on the wrong side of that heavy defeat on the opening day of the season. That was 9-0, and now 9-0 as well to Doncaster Rovers Bell, which means their goal difference is not particularly good as it stands. Division 1 South East then, interesting things to talk about in here. So we'll start at the top. AFC Wimbledon 2, Actonians 0. Goals for AFC Wimbledon, an own goal on the 68th minute, and then one for Ashley Hinks in the 76th minute gave AFC Wimbledon a second half 2-0 victory over Actonians. Convincing victory for #United against Cambridge United. Eva Frazzoni in the 7th minute, Hayley West in the 19th minute, then Frazzoni again 68th, Malika Apinda-Gill in the 70th, and Samantha Rowland in the 84th after coming off the substitutes bench. Convincing 5-0 victory for #United. London Seawood beat the other side from Cambridge City by 3-0. Catherine Long, Samantha Lanza and Ria Laudat getting the goals for London Seawood. Only away victory in the league, coming to Norwich City, winning 2-0 away at Queen's Park Rangers. Catherine Stanley and Megan Todd with the goals for Norwich City. And Wyndham Town against Hounslow abandoned on the 86th minute mark due to an injury and a delay getting the first responders and the ambulance there. We don't know. We've been looking around. I've been chatting to Craig from Talking Woe, so we've been looking around trying to find information. Can't really find any information from either club or people involved. There was a goal in that game. We also don't know who the injury to the player was. But 86th minute that game got abandoned. The goal was to Danielle Snowden in the 42nd minute. And then they also had Javine McKnight sent off, did Hounslow. But yes, a long delay in that game because of a delay in getting the first responder and the ambulance. There was what we saw. But yes, Hounslow had scored in that game. Whether it was 1-0 or not, we don't know because neither side had tweeted anything. So we'll wait to see what happens with regards to that game. I mean, the protocol, the precedent, rather, should I say, is that it will be replayed in full at another date, which means that Hounslow still haven't got their season underway. If we have a look at the Division 1 South East table, not a lot of movement in this. So # still top, 13 points. Norwich City second, 13 points. London Seawood third on 10 points. AFC Wimbledon up 2 places. In 4th place, they're on 7 points. Queen's Park Rangers remain 5th on 5 points. Cambridge United dropped 2 places. They're in 6th on 5 points. Ashford Town 7th, 4 points. Chesham United 8th on 3 points. Cambridge City 9th on 3 points. Actonians 10th on 1 point. Hounslow 11th, no points. And Wyndham Town 12th, no points. As you can see there on the table, if you listen to the audio version, I'll read it out to you. But Hounslow, they're still yet to play a game. Now, the season has been going for a month now. Hounslow yet to play a game. Some of the teams in the upper half of the table, they've played 5 games. They're nearly a quarter of their way through the season. And Hounslow are yet to get off the mark. Not least in points, but in games played as well. Which means they're going to have a lot of midweek fixtures to cram in to the rest of this season. We do have that slight stoppage in winter to try and get reduce the postponements rather, but it's inevitable there are going to be postponements through January, February with teams they're coming up against. I'm looking at the likes of #United, Norwich City perhaps as well, going deep in either the cup or the plate competitions. We'll get onto that later as well. There'll be postponements. They'll have a lot of midweek fixtures to cram in towards the second half of the season. So the fact they've waited a month to get enough players together to get their season underway, and then the season, they play a game but the game doesn't complete and the season still isn't underway for Hounslow, is not ideal for any of the parties involved, not just for Hounslow but also for the league and the schedulers for the league as well. So we'll see what happens over the coming weeks, but hopefully Hounslow will be able to start picking some games and points up, because otherwise it's going to start getting just a little bit ridiculous, particularly when, as I said, it's a 22-game season. Some of the teams have already played 5. Then they're virtually, as near as makes no difference, a quarter of the way through the season, and one team hasn't even started. It's not great. This 12-team league where everyone would stay on pretty much the same amount of games. It seems to only be happening in Division 1 North, where everyone's played 5. Everywhere else, it's a bit of a mess at the moment still. But we'll see how it pans out over the next few weeks and months. Division 1 South West then. AFC St Austell 2, Southampton Women 5. This one had 22 minutes of added time. There's a long delay in this one. Southampton Women 2-1 up at half time. So AFC Austell's goals both coming to Bethany Everson. Southampton Women brace for Brittany Gilles, Hope Sumanen, Kirsty Witten and Laura Vokes getting the goals for Southampton Women, who win by 5-2. Cardiff City convincing winners over Exeter City by 5-0. We were wondering last week if that would be a key game. Exeter near the top last season. Cardiff coming down from the Southern Premier. Well, Cardiff a 5-0 victory, but they haven't announced their lineup yet, so I can't give you any information on their scorers. Keynsham Town 3, Larkhall Athletic 1, a hat-trick for Naomi Clipston, 30th, 60th, 70th minute, made it 3-0. Consolation goal for Larkhall at the end, Chloe Snook in the 86th minute, made it 3-1. Great result for Moneyfields away at Portishead, winning by 3-2. An early goal in that one. In fact, they were 3-0 up in this game. Emma Pinner, 6th and 23rd minute, made it 2-0. Charlie Wilson-Wilton in the 49th minute made it 3-0 to Moneyfields. Portishead pegged them back. 53rd minute, Laura Barrett. And 88th minute, Rhiann Robbins. Must have felt like the longest injury time ever for Moneyfields away at Portishead. But they do win by 3-2. And Swindon Town, a 3-2 victory against AFC Bournemouth again. Another one, a bit like Moneyfields. They went 3-0 up, a hat-trick to Annabelle Colston. 31st, 42nd, 52nd minute. Shannon Albury getting a brace, 56th and 70th minute. Denying Bournemouth any points despite their best efforts. Swindon hang on to a 3-2 victory, which is how they described it on their Twitter. We hold on and take the 3 points. What it means in the table, as you can see, there's a lot of movement in South West. So Bournemouth, though, they do remain top. Exeter City remains second. They're both on 10 points, but they've played 5 games each. Cardiff City are up a place. They're into third. They're on 9 points, but they've only played 3. So they're still on maximum points and have a goal difference of 20. So with their games in hand, they could go 5 points clear of those top 2. Chelsea have dropped a place. They're in 4th, but they've also only played 3 games and they've got maximum points. So they didn't play this weekend either. So they're still on maximum points as well. Moneyfields are in 5th. They're up a place on 8 points. Southampton Women in 6th, upper place on 6 points. Swindon Town, upper place, also on 6 points. They're in 7th. Portishead Town are down 3 places on 6 points in 8th. Keynsham Town up a couple, out of the relegation zone. They're in 9th on 3 points. Maidenhead United have only played 1 game. They obviously missed the first few weeks of the season as well and then didn't play this weekend, but they weren't scheduled to play this weekend. So they are in 10th. They are yet to get off the mark, but because they've only played 1 game, their goal difference isn't as bad as Larkhall Athletic and AFC St Austell. Larkhall Athletic down a place in 11th, yet to get off the mark, and AFC St Austell still bottom of the table, yet to get off the mark. Right, that's all of the results in the FA Women's National League this past 7 days. Let's have a look then at the determining round of the FA Women's National League Cup and Plate competitions. I will race through these because we did cover them a couple of weeks ago for when they were supposed to be played, but then they weren't because the fixtures were postponed because of the death of the Queen. Bournemouth against Oxford, Fylde take on Derby County, AFC St Austell against Plymouth Argyle, Boldmere St Michael's against Stoke City, Bridgewater United against Billericay Town, Brighouse against Leafield Athletic, Cambridge City take on Actonians and Cambridge United face Gillingham. Cardiff City take on Southampton Women, Cheltenham Town against AFC Wimbledon, Chesham United take on Wyndham Town. Chorley against Bradford City. Doncaster Rovers Bells host Merseyrail. Exeter City host Maidenhead United. Hashtag United face Ashford Town, and Hounslow will take on Larkhall Athletic. Huddersfield Town against Stourbridge. Hull City take on Burnley. Keynsham Town against Moneyfields. Lincoln City host Newcastle United. That's now on Saturday. They're doing a double header at the LNER Stadium to coincide with the men's game as they did earlier on in the season against Doncaster Rovers Bells. London Seaward against Swindon Town. Northampton Town face Wolverhampton Wanderers. Norton Stockton Ancients against Long Eaton United, and Peterborough United take on Stockport County. Portishead Town face London Bees. Portsmouth against Crawley Wasps. Queen's Park Rangers face Ipswich Town. Chelsea host MK Dons, and Sheffield host Middlesbrough. Sporting Cowser face Durham Sestro. Watford face Norwich City, and Wem Town take on Barnsley. West Bromwich Albion against Liverpool Fed. York City take on Leeds United. League Town face Nottingham Forest. That's a 3 p.m. kickoff. And what was a 3 p.m. kickoff but is now a 2 p.m. kickoff is Loughborough Lightning against Solihull Moors. And then quickly, just finally, we have one more thing to talk about this week, and that is one game in the Northern Premier Division, which is taking place on Wednesday the 28th. It's Brighouse Town against Huddersfield Town, which is 10th against 6th at the moment. Brighouse Town with a big victory could go as high as 5th, but that would need an 8-goal swing. More realistically, a win could put them up to 7th or maybe 6th if it's anything more than a 1-goal victory. So that's the one league game that we've got coming up in the next 7 days. It is predominantly the preliminary round of the determining round of the Cup and the Plate, and then coming up we'll have the preliminary round of those competitions to get us down to 32 sides each. But that's it for this week's Women's Football Chat. Just shy of half an hour. It takes a while to go through all of those fixtures when we've got a full programme. Thank you very much for watching and listening if you're listening to the audio version. I'll be back next Thursday to look at who is in what competition, and we'll see if there's anything out of the league in terms of a draw for that preliminary round, or if it's just going to be put up as a graphic as it has been. When I last spoke to the league, they said they were exploring avenues. When I offered to video draws for them, they said they were exploring avenues to do it themselves. So we'll see what comes out of it in the preliminary round after the determining round has been done this weekend. But thank you very much for watching this week's Women's Football Chat. My name has been Chris Gadsby. Don't forget, I'm here every Thursday at 6 p.m. to bring you all the very latest. It's the Cup this weekend. Get down and support your local women's team. They would love you to be on the sidelines. Thank you very much for watching and listening. Goodbye.